A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Ford Field tunnels, and the noise level in this place just about off the charts. They are set for football as the Lions get ready to do. For the 78th time, Thanksgiving Day football has come to Detroit, and we're underway from Ford Field. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the ninth-year man out of Georgia, their quarterback, and that's Matthew Stafford.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. Won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. They go back to Riddick. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. Called it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Shotgun snap for Stafford. It's caught. Jones. The 30. The 20. Touchdown, Detroit. T.J. Jones, 78 yards. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Tyreek Hill on the return. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by Kirk Cousins, their Pro Bowl quarterback, in his 6th season now.
And bottom line, when you're the starting QB, what is it?
Get the W.
Get the W.
They did that last week.
Right, you got that done. Wasn't always pretty. There were some great moments. He threw 4 touchdown passes.
But got to eliminate those mistakes.
Got to take care of that, because otherwise that can come back and bite him in another ball game.
Cousins now. And right away he lost the football.
Plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or has moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He gets him moving forward again with an 8-yard run, but they'll still be left with 14 yards to go on 3rd. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play, as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now Cousins. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going, because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance. He's helping his team in a huge way.
And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with, but it's second down. Second and 10, Stafford again. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Stafford. Ebron caught left side. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Stafford finding his big tight end Ebron for a Lion first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays, getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. Tyreek Hill set to return it. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. It's back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense. Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. On 3rd down, Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. A good pickup there at 22. And that catch puts him past the great Jerry Rice. For the most receiving yards in a single season, he's now up over 1,848.
At one point, we called Jerry Rice Flash. How about the dash we saw here today?
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they've got it here with a first down. A toss to Murray. And some room to roam now. Latavius Murray. 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Latavius Murray, touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. So much talk this week on the other side about slowing him down coming off that great performance, NFC Offensive Player of the Week last week. But long touchdown run there, nobody was stopping it.
Yeah, good luck for that because that was an explosive run. You know, in the NFL, they describe that as any run over 10 yards. Some teams say 15. He went over 20-plus on that one.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes...
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Not an ideal spot to be on first down, but I love that the play caller did not immediately abandon the running game and say, okay, we've got to throw it in order to pick it up. Stayed with the run, was rewarded with a big-time pickup. Now they're in second and manageable.
And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. He opted to go with his scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
This will be caught at about the 6. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. The decision to go for it pays off, and now they're set up first and goal. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Latavius Murray with his 19th touchdown, his second of the game. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. Caught right side, Tate. It's a gain of 14 there. And it's good enough for a Detroit first down.
And there's Golden Tate doing exactly what he does well. Extra yards after the catch.
Exactly. To your point, among wide receivers, no one had more yards after the catch than Tate last year of 635. They go play action here on first down. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain down to about the 33. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Larry Ridley. We'll have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And our attention here turns to Latavius Murray. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Cousins to throw it, and incomplete here on 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Cousins escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. First down. Here's Cousins. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Here's Cousins. The swing pass caught. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Again, it's Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And with that, the lead is up to 8. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
All right, hang on here. We'll jump over halftime. Just let the system and graphics catch up. Okay, it's deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. For him, what an accomplishment in this game, surpassing the 2,000-yard mark. And all the time we talk about these guys out wide like him that are so athletic and can do so many things. But take us a little deeper. How has he done it this year?
Well, you helped with this because when we sat down with him before the game and discussed his season, and you said to him, okay, I have a vision that you, similar to a pitcher, change up a lot of things, right? Different arm angles, different slots that a pitcher would do. You do that with your route running and all that. And I loved his response. He said, yeah, I do that. But one of his best friends is a world-ranked tennis player, and he talked about serves and how you change up, take pace off, do different things, and he incorporated that into his route running.
On first down, Murray. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. He couldn't get the edge there. Wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead with their footwork and speed.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Haloti Ngata busting through to get him for a loss of 6. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't, because...
And he's going to go down again.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. On the return, it's Tate. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Lions will take over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Out of the gun, Stafford looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. Then he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
They pitch it out to Murray. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Latavius Murray with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. but I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Ebron with it over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys. You always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And that's incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
3rd and 2, Stafford. And he connects with Ebron. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. A gain of 7, and they pick up the first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now Stafford. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Ebron's got it. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
Latavius Murray getting set to go again. He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far. 3 here in the 3rd, and probably hoping he's not done yet.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that. And guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Holding offense.
Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Following the penalty, it's Murray. And he'll go down, and that will do it. for the third quarter of action. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now Cousins. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Jared Davis, the rookie from Florida. And that'll bring up fourth down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Throwing is Cousins. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Darius Slay with a pick. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. A good first down call as the screenplay gets him 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Stafford, over the middle, complete. That's Jones. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Now Riddick. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Cousins steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Left side caught by Diggs. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Off the toss. This is Murray running right. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. They go back to Murray on first down. He'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite an excellent display of footwork. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Carries piling up. It's Murray again. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Cousins here to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
To throw, Cousins. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision, to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout.
Throwing, Cousins. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Lions will take over. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down. And he'll spike it with 16 seconds remaining. On second down, here's Stafford. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And look out, I think he's going to go. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now Forbath for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. One last throw here for Stanford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for Minnesota, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Bulls.